Hello everyone, this is Savita Acharya from Canara Engineering College. In this video, we'll look into the architecture of the ARM Cortex-M3 processor. Firstly, I'll dive into the Cortex-M3 processor features. So some of these features may be familiar to you right now, but some of them may not. So as you learn more about these features, things will get more and more clear. Okay. First feature is the Cortex M3 is a 32-bit RISC processor. RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computing. So what happens in RISC is in the RISC processor the instruction set is reduced by having simpler instructions such that these instructions can be executed very fast, and hence the processor performance would be highly improved. Now what do you mean by 32-bit processor is the internal registers, the data path and the bus interfaces are all 32 bits wide. In other words, the 32-bit processor is capable of handling 32 bits of data at a time. What I mean is, it can access 32 bit of data from memory at a time. It can perform arithmetic or logical operations on 32-bit data at a time, and like this, things like that. Next one is it is having a Harvard bus architecture. Now, in contrast to this, we had von Neumann architecture where we had a single bus for data and instruction. Whereas in Harvard architecture, there are separate buses for data and instruction. So this allows parallel access of data and instruction from memory without interfering with each other, and also this also helps in instruction pipeline. I mean, the data access will not interfere with the instruction pipeline, because of which the processor performance also will be increased. So it is a three-stage pipeline design. So pipeline consists of three stages: instruction fetch, instruction decode and instruction execute. Next, it is a 32-bit addressing supporting 4 GB of memory space. So the address bus is also 32-bit in Cortex M3, and it supports 4 GB memory space. Moving on with the Cortex M3 processor features. Uh, there is on-chip bus interfaces based on ARM AMBA technology, which allow pipeline bus operations for higher throughput. AMBA stands for Advanced Microcontroller Bus Architecture. So here, AMBA is an open standard on-chip interconnect specification. This defines the connection and management of functional blocks in SoCs. SoC stands for System on Chips. So in other words, AMBA protocol defines how functional blocks communicate with each other. The instruction set architecture in the Cortex-M processors is called the Thumb 2 technology, which supports a mixture of 16-bit and 32-bit instructions. So the earlier processors, in the earlier ARM processors, um, there is something called as ARM mode and thumb mode. In ARM mode, the instructions are 32-bit instructions, and thumb instruction set is a subset of the ARM instruction set which are 16-bit. Okay, but in Cortex M3, the Cortex M processors make use of thumb 2 technology. Here both the 16-bit instructions and 32-bit instructions are supported, whereas in earlier ARM processors it has to be changed from ARM state to thumb state to use a thumb instruction set, whereas in Cortex M processors this is not required. By its default they will support both these type of instruction set. There is an interrupt controller called NVIC. NVIC stands for Nested Vectored Interrupt Controller. This provides the processor outstanding interrupt handling capabilities, supporting up to 240 interrupt requests and from 8 to 256 interrupt priority levels. So we learn about this in detail when we deal with interrupts. Some more features. Support for various features for OS implementation. Sleep mode support and various low power features. Support for an optional MPU, that is memory protection unit, to provide memory protection features like programmable memory or access permission control, and also support direct access to single bits of data into specific memory regions using a feature called bitband. This is the overall block diagram of a Cortex M3 processor. So as we have just discussed that this Cortex M3 has got a three-stage pipeline. So here is the three-stage pipeline unit. That is, first one is the instruction fetch unit, the second one is the decoder, and the third one is the execution unit. Okay. So these are all 32, since Cortex M3 is a 32-bit processor, there is this register bank uh, which is capable of holding 32-bit data. So there are 32-bit registers bank, and you have ALU which is capable of handling or performing operations on 32-bit data at a time. So you have this, it's a Harvard architecture, so you have two separate buses for instruction and data. So the memory space is here 4 GB. So the presence of two buses for separate for instruction and data does not mean that 8 GB memory space will be available. The memory space is common for instructions and data. But the advantage of having Harvard architecture is the instructions can and data can be accessed parallelly, since they are being handled through two different buses. So the data accesses from memory will not interfere with the instruction pipeline. The instruction pipeline can go on. You can continuously fetch instructions from memory through the instruction bus, and wherever required, wherever data is required to be accessed from memory, that can happen simultaneously through the data bus. So some complex tasks have got require more memory space, for which we have an optional memory protection unit which satisfies this requirement, and also external cache can also be connected. Then here there is this NVIC which I have just mentioned, that is a nested vector interrupt controller. This is a method of this is a controller for handling interrupts. So interrupts occur here, and the NVIC takes care of that. So here it's a method of prioritizing interrupts which improves the microcontroller unit's performance. One function of this NVIC is to ensure that higher priority interrupts are completed before lower priority interrupts. Even though the lower priority interrupt has triggered first, but what needs to be done is the higher priority interrupt has to be attended first. So we'll learn in detail about this NVIC later. And there is this debug and trace system also, onboard debug system for this Cortex M3. So here this debug is for hardware debug. This debug system has got various debug features which supports these debug features like breakpoints and watch points. Then you have memory. Here the memory map in Cortex M3 is the memory map is predefined. That is, memory map is split into regions where each region has a defined memory type, and some have additional memory attributes. Okay, so we'll learn about the memory map as well in the later lectures. Thumb instruction set. The earlier ARM processors consist of two instruction set. One is the ARM instruction set, which is 32-bit instructions, and the other one is the thumb instruction set, which are 16-bit instructions. This thumb instruction set is nothing but the subset of this 32-bit ARM instruction set. Okay. So this thumb instruction set consists of commonly used instructions like move, load, store, and some ALU operations and all required for typical application. But in fact, for every thumb instructions, there is a equivalent 32-bit ARM instruction. Okay. So, however, not all ARM instructions are available in the thumb subset. So, the method of writing a program in the earlier ARM processors was whichever task can be done using the 16-bit thumb instructions, they are written using these instructions only. But there are few tasks, as I have told you, not all ARM instructions are available in the thumb subset. That means there are certain complex tasks like math operations or decision making tasks and all. For such cases, there is no there is no instruction in the thumb set. Okay. So for this, the ARM instructions, the 32-bit ARM instructions only have to be used. So the program is written in such a way that the tasks which can be done using these thumb instructions, they are written, and the tasks which do not have an instruction in the thumb set are written using the ARM instructions. So it will be a mixture of 16-bit thumb instructions as well as 32-bit ARM instructions. So the purpose of having this thumb instruction is, as you know, the thumb instructions are 16-bit instructions and hence they occupy less memory space. Now this is one property which is highly recommended in today's portable devices. Okay. So this improves the performance of the system. So when the program is to be written with a mixture of thumb instructions and ARM instructions, the processor has to change the mode from thumb state to ARM state. Okay. So in the flag register, there is a bit corresponding to this mode. So this mode has to be set or reset to change from one mode to other. So when you are writing the program in the using 32-bit ARM instructions, then that flag register bit should be changed to ARM mode, and when you are using instructions in the thumb mode, then that particular bit is to be changed to thumb mode. So the earlier ARM programs, ARM processor programs, were a mixture of 32-bit ARM instructions and 16-bit thumb instructions. And there was a need of changing the program from thumb mode to ARM mode or from ARM mode to thumb mode as and when required. And this was done using a bit in the flag register that was corresponding to mode bit. Okay. Now when it comes to Cortex-M processors, few additional 16-bit instructions were added to the previously available 16-bit thumb instructions alongside this 32-bit ARM instructions to form the Thumb 2 technology. So the Thumb 2 technology is also called as a superset of the previous 16-bit thumb instruction set with additional 16-bit instructions alongside 32-bit instructions. So as you can see in the figure, the Thumb 2 instruction set comprises of 16-bit in thumb instructions as well as 32-bit ARM instructions. So it can be shown as a superset of this Cortex M3 ARM instructions as well as the 16-bit thumb instructions. With this Thumb 2 technology, it allows more complex operations to be carried out in the thumb state itself. So in the earlier ARM processors, the complex tasks like decision making jobs or tasks requiring math operations were not possible in the thumb state. But now with the additional 16-bit instructions, these complex operations are also possible to be carried out in this thumb state itself, and this allows for higher efficiency by reducing the number of states switching between ARM state and thumb state. So as I've told you, in the earlier ARM processors, there was a necessity of switching from one mode to other mode when you are using the corresponding instructions. That is, when you are using thumb instructions, you have to be in the thumb mode. When you are using ARM instructions, you have to be in the ARM mode. This necessity is avoided in the thumb 2 technology. Okay, so there is no bit in the you don't have to change any bit in the flag register in Cortex M processors. So the thumb 2 technology extended the thumb instruction set architecture into a highly efficient and powerful instruction set that delivers significant benefits in terms of ease of use, code size and performance. So because of this thumb 2 technology, one is it improves performance because the time required for just switching of states from ARM state to thumb state is avoided, and ease of use because it is the only state you have to be in, and also that will be comprising of compact code size. This is because the instructions are 16-bit. Okay, so the thumb 2 technology has extended this instruction set architecture into a highly efficient and powerful one. Since the thumb 2 instruction set comprises of instructions capable of doing most of the complicated tasks as well, the Cortex M3 supports only the thumb 2 instruction set. And since this thumb 2 instruction set comprises of only 16-bit instructions, the code size will be compact. Hence, it is focused on small memory system devices such as microcontrollers. So, this reduces the size of the processors highly. Instead of using ARM instructions for some operations as in traditional ARM processors, it uses thumb 2 instruction set for all operations. So as we have already discussed, the traditional ARM processors were using for typical operations it was using 16-bit thumb instructions, and for complicated operations it was using 32-bit ARM instructions. But now since this thumb 2 instruction set is capable of performing all these complex tasks, the Cortex M3 uses only thumb 2 instruction set. So as a result, the Cortex M3 processor is not backward compatible with traditional ARM processors. So, with the support for both 16-bit and 32-bit instructions in the thumb 2 instruction set, there is no need to switch the processor between thumb state and ARM state. This is what I have been telling. In the earlier ARM processors, there was a need to switch from one state to other, which is avoided in this thumb 2 technology, that is from Cortex M processor onwards. For example, in ARM7 or ARM9 family processors, you might need to switch to ARM state if you want to carry out complex calculations or a large number of conditional operations, and good performance is needed. Whereas in the Cortex M3 processor, you can mix 32-bit instructions with the 16-bit instructions without switching state, getting high code density and high performance with no extra complexity. Okay. So in Cortex M3 directly we can use 16-bit instructions as well as 32-bit instructions, because Thumb2 technology supports this. Okay, without having to change the state of from one state, change the mode.
Thank you.